You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 146 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I'm joined by co-host Dakota Davis, producer Chris Guffey, and...
Today's episode features the return of Betsy Mills. She is fully recovered from her concussion from the last time she was on the show. If you listen to that episode, we are also joined by... first-time guest, Mr. Stacey Guffey. We have been trying to get you on for such a long time, Stacey. Glad to have you in the studio this time. We're going to be talking to both of these folks. Stacey is an instructor at the Henry County Sheriff's Department, marshal for Sulphur Springs.
Marshal at Sulphur Springs. I was an instructor with Henry County.
Oh, you were?
Till I retired.
Oh, okay. And then you were the school resource officer at Tri
High.
And then you are also running for Henry County Coroner.
Yes.
And then, Betsy, you are the newest member of the Henry County Council. You have replaced Mr. Thalls for his at-large seat. Brand new, but you've already toured some jails and been doing some work. So we're going to talk to you about what that process has been like. And then at the very end, I have something to say about the town of Spiceland. So make sure you stick around to the end to hear that.
This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you. Other times we'll make you laugh. Hopefully you'll always learn something new. Such as here in Henry County, because our taxes are so high because of this county council, that everybody has to have like 5 or 6 jobs. So they've all got like 9 of them.
I didn't vote on that.
Well, no, not
Conveniently.
That's the way it goes. So we do have some thank yous to give. Patreon members.
That's right.
We got some amazing folks that just got a bonus show a minute ago. Happens every week.
Mm-hmm. Patreon.com/Boss Hog of Liberty is where you can go to support the show monthly. The subscription starts at $5 a month. We give you a bonus episode each week. It's about 20 to 30 minutes long sometimes, where we talk to the guests about, just some random things. It's a fun little show that we put on specifically for those folks. There are multiple different tiers with different perks for every tier. If you donate at $50 or more a month, then we promise we're going to give you a shout out at the start of each episode. Those folks are Christy Avery, Jonathan Phillips, Craig DaCosta, and Mr. Chris Lamb. We also have T-Chip stores. That is where you can buy all of your Boss Hog of Liberty merchandise. It's a bunch of clothing. We have different tiers for the clothing as well, just very basic logo wear. We have one with host names on it, and then we also have one that has the slogan that says local stories, national impact on the back of the apparel. And those are tchip.com/BHOL1, 2, or 3.
I failed this week. I'm a single puppy dad, but Sarah's out of town for work, so I'm lucky to have food and clothing.
You don't have a puppy.
Well, 2 dogs. I don't know. They're always puppies, Dakota.
Yeah. Come on, Dakota.
Come on. Don't steal that away from me. So I'm lucky to have a hoodie at all, but my Boss Hog long sleeve shirt, it got to the washer. It didn't get all the way through the drying process and then onto me, but I do have mine and I do cherish it.
Hey, you're trying. I understand.
I'm efforting. I'm efforting really hard.
Adulting and efforting.
Yeah. Efforting. I like efforting more than adulting.
Isn't it amazing?
Literally
after you get married and you're used to being married, and then you think, how did I do this all on my own for so long?
Sarah flew out on Sunday, and by Wednesday, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Stuff's really not getting done around here.
Did you look in the mirror, or did you just...
No, I said, obviously I blame the dogs.
You do have a pretty cool wife.
Yeah.
You married very well.
I did all right. Did pretty good.
I'm not saying that because her mother's here. Sarah's awesome.
We called in the backups. Normally, Sarah is the one that keeps us fed on Thursday nights. And I told Mason I might have been Sunday afternoon. We might have been watching football. Mason and Chris were sitting around. They've all adopted my wonderful in-laws as their own. And I may have said it just loud enough for Libby to hear it in the background saying, boys, Thursday night's dinner. I don't know what we're going to do. So you all might have to figure it out on your own. And immediately Libby stepped up and said, I'll make something. What do you want? So last night, our intern Mason and Libby put together a beef stew.
Honestly, we have an intern. He should be making us dinner every week.
He should.
That's kind of an intern's job.
We've probably not done the best job with his internship.
I think we've done pretty well.
Does he get credit? Are you like...
He's dropped out of school since he took on the
okay.
internship. He's just taking this job on full time. We probably should have discussed the pay before we encouraged.
Is it high fives and encouragement or what?
We are still offering internships, though, to any teachers
Yes.
that have to fulfill their state requirements, as long as that's still a thing after this legislative session.
For now, we will
doubt it,
sign. You'll sign your form, and they can come by and hang out with us.
That's right.
Next time, I want to, for my 5th, if I'm invited.
Yeah. Should you pass this?
Hypothetically,
Yes.
I would like to bring you guys dinner.
Okay,
And I make a really mean roast.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I love a good roast.
Yeah.
Have you
Mashed
been?
potatoes, whatever. I'm good.
Have you been watching the Marvelous Miss Maisel?
First and second season, not the third.
So that was her move.
But yeah, like
she would make a brisket.
Yeah, and briskets are a bomb. I'm very good at corned beef.
I love corned beef.
Pork beef.
I can do corned beef. I can make corned beef. I've never gotten a good like smoked brisket. I've never done it well. It just takes a lot of.
You've never
talent.
had a good smoked brisket, or you've
No,
never made
I've
it yourself?
had plenty. I've
have a
just not.
smoker?
I've just not done it myself well.
Yeah, I don't have a smoker, but I really want to get like a Traeger. That's like my next
right.
big adult purchase.
You should probably go hang out with our friend Cade, and he's got a tray. He's got the smoker.
Yes,
My smoker is the old school type where you have to build the fire in the bottom and then like keep the fire fed.
All right, let me ask the town marshal of Sulphur Springs, Indiana. Would a good brisket get me out of a ticket?
Well, it's a start.
No promises.
No promises.
Oh man, so Stacey's here. You're here tonight because you've applied to applied with the people of Henry County, Indiana, to be our coroner again.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be an open seat.
Mm-hmm.
You did the job once before. Mm-hmm. What can you? I guess for folks that don't know, or we have listeners all over the country in different states, so they don't have Indiana's laws. Real high overview of what's a coroner do? Why do we elect them? Why is the job important to our community? Because you have like 5 jobs. So now you're just wanting a 6th one to start counting them on a different hand, I guess.
Well, I retired from one of them, so I'm.
You got the time.
I got the time. The coroner's office is very critical for citizens of the county and of the territory that you are going to be servicing, just simply because there's going to be death everywhere. And it's just a matter of being able to investigate what happened and the scene and so forth, and to be able to answer the questions that the family of the victims are going to have.
So sometimes the coroner needs to be involved and sometimes they don't. So if somebody's under medical care, hospice or something, then the coroner doesn't get involved. But if somebody happens to die, then they get brought in, and then that's where you'll have a death investigation.
Absolutely. Yes. So with that, even with that, where we get involved, it could be anything from we'll obtain the medical records. We can do autopsies. No, personally, we have pathologists that does the autopsies.
You send them away to Muncie, right? Isn't that
actually? No, we have a pathologist, a forensic pathologist that travels that will actually come here.
Okay,
cool.
And so we do the pathology, and then we do the autopsy, and then we do toxicologies and so forth, and then we get the medical records to be able to
make a determination.
Absolutely.
And so do you view it as an administrative position? Is it a hands-on job? Our community's got 50,000 people roughly. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the role is different if you're in Allen County versus being here in Henry County, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it's a hands-on for me. When I was coroner last time, I took the bigger percentage of all the calls, and I had deputy coroners, and on those occasions where we would get multiple calls a day, then I would call one out or 2 or 3, whichever be the case. And then, or if, for example, I was working at the sheriff's department at that time, if I couldn't go, I was on something else, then the deputy coroners would actually step up.
So go ahead.
I was going to ask a question, if that's okay. So obviously the role of coroner is really important. You got to have the right person in that role. What decides you going on a call? Like someone has passed. Is it, if it's natural, you don't touch it, but if anything's questionable, you go? Like, when does the coroner actually respond to a death investigation?
Well, usually when we get a call from dispatch,
okay,
and they tell us that the officers are at the scene,
okay,
of a death, and I know that this conversation is not really a light-hearted conversation, but
we'll punch it up. It's fine.
Okay, well,
in editing, we'll fix it.
But they have they'll give us a call. They'll let us know if there's a deceased individual,
mm-hmm.
and then we get the information, the background a little bit, and then either we head that way, or sometimes even the medics. We've been real good with the medics in the past. They'll tell us, hey, this is a medical. We just want to let you know, that, and we've had a really good relationship with the. When I was coroner, we had a very good relationship with the law enforcement, the medics, and so forth. That we worked really well together.
So they sort of give you a heads up. Like, obviously, if someone is terminally ill, you're probably not responding to that because Now,
if they're on hospice
right.
or under doctor's care, something.
But
like
if
that.
It's out of the blue or there's a question,
Absolutely.
That's when you would go because.
And every child death,
mm-hmm.
of course, anything that is, for example, a 20-something, 30-something, 40-something, 50-something, whatever,
right.
has no medical history whatsoever, and they just fall dead. Then, mm-hmm. we are called in to see what we can find out.
Anywhere, or like, are hospitals exempted because they're under medical care at that point, or does it depend?
It depends. If they've had a procedure within 24 hours, then it is a coroner's call. The coroner has to come in and do an investigation because it's been within 24 hours of an actual procedure, medical procedure.
So Zach Burcham is in the live feed, and he's wanting to know, would you describe the role of a coroner as a more law enforcement type position, or is it a more of a medical type position?
Well, it's a little of both, because first off, when you get to the scene, you got to first know what you're looking for, and you got to know how to talk to people. And when you get to the scene, you're actually like I said, you got to know what you're looking for. And, there could be something weird with, the way the blood spatter on the walls or something like that. And there's certain techniques and certain things that over the years of experience that I've got, there's certain things that I can take a look at and pretty much know that, hey, this doesn't look right. So then it becomes, it's the law enforcement side of it. And then once we get it into, the autopsies and things, then it becomes the medical issue of what kind of medical history that this person had. So we've got to determine all that. So we're actually satisfying both law and medical, legal and medical.
Is it, are there special requirements that an individual has to have in order to run for coroner, or can Jeremiah run for coroner this year?
No, Jeremiah can run if he wants to. That's perfectly fine. The law states that within the first year, you've got to attend the coroner school, which is an extremely tough school put on by the state of Indiana's Coroners Association and so forth, and training board. And so you've got to do that. And then once you're done with that, you do an externship, which is you have to attend an autopsy and have your picture taken with the pathologist, and he's got to sign off some paperwork, and then you've got to do some reports and things like that to get. So it is. You've got to be
competent, right? You get elected, and then you have to go through some training.
Absolutely.
Even if you're not one of the hands-on folks, right? So if you're still responsible for them, I would imagine. So if it's a larger county where you've got, if you're in St. Joseph County, we're at the larger city, I'd imagine you've just got more volume, more than you have bandwidth.
Yeah.
So that's when you have a lot of deputies. But even in that position, you've still got to have a knowledge of what the folks that are working for you are doing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even Marion County, I think at one point in time, I think they had a foot doctor that ran for coroner and got it. So he, now by virtue of being elected, I don't believe they have to, and I could be wrong on this, but I don't believe they have to attend the training, if I'm not mistaken. But however, I know he didn't take calls in Marion County. He had deputy coroners that would take calls for him. So with the role of the coroner, I know that there are some special
responsibilities and roles that the coroner has that a lot of people might not know. But just, do you have any of those that are off the top of your head that, you think people should need to know if going into the November election?
Well, like I said, and like we talked about just a few minutes ago, the difference between the legal and the medical part of it. I can have all kinds of doctors being the coroner. I can have all type of physicians. I can have all type of pathologists to tell me how a person died and so forth. It's the information that the legal side that we can actually provide to the pathologist to assist him in his decision of what the cause of death is. Now, as a coroner, I don't have the qualifications to do autopsies and so forth. So we have to have a forensic pathologist or a clinical pathologist to come in and do the job for us. And now we can draw blood and we can do some of the toxicology like that. And that's part of the training that we get. But, we have all types of availability of others that can help us, make those decisions as far as in the medical term. But it's what you see at the scene, the actual scene, that could provide information and help the decision of the pathologist.
So it's a unique position in that it's politically elected, right? You're in a servant's role.
Yes.
But the people get to decide who their coroner is going to be.
Yes.
You were elected previously. You did 8 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you were constitutionally limited.
Yeah, I did 7.5 years because I took over for the coroner at that point in time that got into a little bit of trouble and resigned. So I took over like in June, I think it was June or July or something of 2005. And then I finished his term out. And then I ran a term on my own, won that term up to 2013, and technically could have ran another 4 years. But I knew that I was running for sheriff. So I didn't think it would be fair to say, you know what, vote for me for coroner. And then in 2 years,
I'm going to
vote for me for sheriff.
So
I just didn't think that would be fair.
So because this is the only political office that is not partisan in Indiana is a school board race. Mm-hmm. So you have to declare a party. And I don't know. I mean, so you're Republican this cycle.
Yes.
Are they making you show up at Republican things and raise money for Republicans and swear an oath to the president?
Betsy shaking
the grand elephant.
How forceful has this partisanship been for being a guy running for a community service job?
What was that question again? I'm sorry.
How hard has it been becoming a Republican? Because I know it's a recent development.
Well, not so recent. I mean, it's been the last couple elections, 2 or 3 elections. Actually, right. I voted, on the Republican ticket with the idea that I wasn't going to run for anything anymore, and I was just going to kind of fade away in the sunset. But it just kept coming back. I mean, the coroner's office, and I was getting phone calls from different.
There are folks that have expressed a need.
Yes,
you want to make the office great again?
Absolutely, 100%,
so to speak.
So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to get baseball hats that says that.
Love it.
Make the coroner great again.
If you want to get more involved in the party, let me know.
Okay, I sure will. But it hasn't been painful at all making the transition like that. As a matter of fact, it's been pretty well received, and honored to be here.
Well, very good.
Have they told you the plan on how they're going to continue to raise our taxes yet? Or does that come at a later date? Because I need you to fill me in.
There's 2 council members that didn't vote to raise our taxes now.
Well, one wasn't on the council yet.
Yeah, but she can still claim it.
That's true.
I'm actually very grateful.
She's still clean. The blood of raising my taxes is not on her hands yet.
Not yet.
So it's great. This is how we treat our friends. Can you imagine if they weren't friends? How we would be? We're probably worse to Betsy.
Yeah, I was going to say probably nicer.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Dakota.
Oh, I'm loving it. No shame.
Yeah. So you're also the school resource officer at Tri-High.
Did you ever catch this guy smoking in the boys' room?
I don't think you were the school resource officer whenever I went to Tri.
I've just been out there for the last couple of years.
I'm getting old now.
So.
Is it fun to develop a relationship with the students and get to know them?
Yeah, absolutely.
I bet they love you.
Oh yeah. You can talk about things that's going in their life. And, I have this one young man that keeps asking me walking by, he said, he'll talk to me and he'll say, "Did you have a good night's sleep last night?" "I sure did. How about you?" "Yeah, pretty good." And we just kind of
the conversation.
That's the conversation. So, it's just so many personalities and characteristics and things. So it's fun. It's absolutely fun.
There's something about being in a school, the energy. For me, it's contagious. Like it's hard to be down or quiet or whatever when you're around so many kids who are exuberant, full of energy, and just there's so much potential there. I think it's really exciting.
Oh, absolutely. And you get to thinking about, seeing these students and what they're going to be in the future and where they're going to be at.
And if maybe they don't have great associations with law enforcement, maybe the way they're raised, like who knows, like a lot of different factors, but you get to make an impact on them and they get to know you as a person and you get to change what law enforcement might be to them.
Oh, absolutely. We just, building a relationship is part of the SRO policy or process is building a relationship with the students.
So for those of us that haven't been in a school for quite some time, and maybe there weren't SROs when they were in school.
You were homeschooled
because I dropped out. Because I dropped out of Blue River after the 6th grade.
Well, your dad's on the merit board. He's close enough.
But it helped paint the picture of what does an SRO's day look like. You show up and you're there when the kids are arriving at school, and you're there until they're gone.
Confiscating e-cigarettes left and right.
Well, not so much at the elementary level, but
oh man,
but no, Tri is an absolute great school. It's almost family oriented. And so the kids, you go out there and you greet them.
I think Dakota's mom is responsible for that, really.
Oh, absolutely. She's the boss out there. So
it's family oriented when I go. Anyway.
That's right. And so the kids come in and it's high fives and, and things like that. And some of the kindergartners and the smaller kids, they want to give you hugs and things. And you try to tell them, "Good morning. You're going to have a great day today." Just kind of be that positive spot for them. As they start their day.
Yeah.
So then you're there, and then this is literally me. Just I don't know. So you're just having a presence, right? You're not really concerned about traffic, or it's just having a presence on the grounds. And you're a resource as needed. Is that the main goal? That's
part of it. Yeah. Like I said, part of it is actually talking to the kids and building relationship and rapport with the students. But I go around and I do rounds, and I check every door, and I make sure every door's locked, including classroom doors. And
so during the day, classroom doors are locked.
Yes.
Okay.
And if they're not, then I shut them and lock them. And but then when I have some kind of downtime a little bit, after I've done my rounds and nothing's going on, then I start working on things, safety assessments and things for the school. And so we just finished up it's called a family reunification plan. And that's if we have to evacuate the school, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. And there's no sense in waiting for something to happen to react to it, especially when you're dealing with roughly 700-800 students and staff and so forth. You've got to have some kind of organization to the chaos it's going to be. And so that's part of it. That's part of what the SRO program or the SRO is out there. And like I said, the biggest thing is just building a rapport and with the kids and students and so forth. And every once in a while, you got to go out and work some traffic because that pickup lane can get pretty.
The Tri's got it pretty good.
800 people. That's a lot.
Yeah. So when I'm talking about staff, and
but that's a lot. 800 people on the campus. That's big.
Do you ever catch them off guard? Like when I was at Shenandoah for a few months, teaching. I remember a few times like kids would curse in front of me, and then they'd realize I was there, and they'd freak out, and I'd be like, "Ha ha," and then move on. Like I'm not going to write you up. Did you catch them and they're like off guard, then they freak out, and you laugh? Usually,
yeah. That's things like that will happen. A little slip,
yeah,
will happen, and sometimes when they walk by my office, because my office is right in front. So I've got a straight line shot and view to the front door. Sometimes I'll walk by my office and my door will be open and they'll say something and I'll say, hey, knock it off. And of course I don't do anything. I don't do anything administrative at all. I'm just there for security support.
Yeah.
So it's fun to like make them nervous and then to like carry on,
Well, I hope none of them is watching.
Don't curse, try high. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. But anyway, it's a great group of kids, and
we don't do real well with the 16-year-old demographic, honestly, and under. We don't have a lot of those viewers, especially after 8:00. Once Kirsten Cronk's kids go to bed.
A lot of baby boomer women watch the show, according to our analytics.
I get a lot of angry messages of the things I say from the baby boomer women. Some of whom, by the way, I'm not sure should really have driver's licenses anymore, because the things I saw on the internet this week. Every single intersection should probably have a stop sign and a stoplight and maybe a traffic cop out there directing, because it's just everything's dangerous.
Stacey probably needs another job, so
that's true.
Let's hire him.
I got about 15 minutes.
There's some folks that I think maybe just the rigors of driving, they probably ought to volunteer their license back in and sell the car and just
listen
around town.
I drive through here. I drive through Carmel, Noblesville, Avon. All day, every day, in the middle of the day, whenever the only people out are the old folks and the crackheads, and the traffic is just something else. It's like a whole different world is going on in the middle of the day when most people are at work, and I don't think that the majority of the population is aware.
Maybe we don't
of that
understand
world.
just how bad it is.
Well, they're not home watching Young and Restless anymore.
That got canceled. It's just they have to drive down to the Hardee's and get their senior coffee, and man, we're just in trouble. We had a major change in a traffic pattern on the third rated state road in our town, and it caused. Yeah, it's the third most important state road in Newcastle.
Which one is that?
State Road 103.
Okay.
And 18th or 14th. They removed a stoplight. The state removed the stoplight. 18th, yeah, 18th
Yeah, it's
and
18th and Grand.
yeah, which is State Road 103.
Right.
It's a state road. I think the city of Newcastle is down to one stoplight that it actually manages, maybe two. Wow, that's it. So that's a state-owned stoplight that they removed because the traffic count couldn't couldn't keep up anymore. It was not necessary. So I look forward to maybe some opportunities for you to do some crash investigation after that happened.
So back to the SRO job. Is there additional training that you have to take on in order to get that job?
Absolutely, you got to take the training that it's called NASRA. It's the National Association of School Resource Officers, and they actually provide the training for you, and it's a week long, and you test out of it. You have to test out of it, and then later on you get the opportunity to go into the advanced portion, which I did, and which was in French Lick, Indiana, and that's an awesome place. Mm-hmm. That's an awesome place. I love it.
Did you get to go to the
resort?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My wife loves it. That's our new favorite place now. Yeah.
I went there a few months ago with friends from the Luger series, and I was so impressed. I was like, this is Indiana? I feel like I'm in Europe right now.
Oh, it was pretty awesome. I can tell you.
Have you ever been to Oldenburg?
The boat and the moat saved it.
No, but I should.
Oldenburg's a neat spot.
Oldenburg's
It's very German.
I've heard good things.
You feel
German.
like you're in a German village.
Yeah.
It's a very neat little town.
You guys should have a podcast there on location, and
We should whenever they
I'll be
do
your
their
guest.
Freudenfest festival. Yeah,
I got the first round. Let's do it.
All right.
Except the past 3 years, I think that I've gone to Freudenfest in Oldenburg. It has been raining.
Maybe they shouldn't have it during the monsoon season.
It's in the middle of summer, like whenever we're supposed to be in a drought.
Yeah,
and then,
I don't know.
We're
We're just blessed.
whatever.
All right. So before we pivot to Betsy, Stacey, if you're running for office, I don't think at this point you have nobody's filed against you in the primary or for the general.
Not yet.
But there's still opportunity for you to have to interview for this job. If people want to help out, if they want to volunteer, if they want to write the big check and help you pay for your signs so you don't have to lease them from another Guffey that might have run before, how do people get involved with your campaign? How does this work?
Well, we've got a Facebook page, and we also have an email, Stacey Guffey for Henry Co. At gmail.com.
All right. Stacey Guffey for Henry Co.
Yeah.
At gmail.com.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we
I
got-
can't believe you're the first one.
What's
You're the first Stacey Guffey to ever want to run for office in Henry County.
For Henry Q.
I know.
Any of the Henry counties, and there
I
are
can't believe you
several.
got it.
That's true.
Yeah, Henry County, Georgia can suck it because Stacey Guffey got it.
That's right. We paid dearly for that. No, and there's a lot of people that has my telephone number, and so except for Chris, I don't give it to him.
I don't need it.
So
I know where you work.
He knows where you park your car in Sulphur.
I know all 3 locations you park at.
Yeah, you got the fire station. Like either way, you're tricky. I love it.
Future gas station.
Hot tip.
It's
empty.
so smart because you keep everybody on their toes and they keep their speed down. I
No, they
respect
don't.
the game.
What if somebody unplugs your sign out there? What is there power cords?
Is that
to
a-
it?
is that a
Is that
crime?
vandalism or heroism?
it would be absolutely vandalism.
We didn't damage it. We just, somebody
deprived you of power?
unknown.
Wait, what do you mean
somebody
we?
you
Don't
know.
don't you lump anybody into your? I don't want to be a co-conspirator.
Somebody just unplugged it.
Cuff him.
Hey.
They're solar, aren't they?
Yep.
So
You know,
if
it's-
a dark trash bag happened to blow onto it and land on that solar panel, which, by the way, solar energy may not be legal in this county anymore. After I've heard some things, it may have to get outlawed. I don't know if your grandfathered in or not, but man, I'm worried now. Actually,
Sounds
could be
like
like
anarchy.
that one down on Riley Road might have the same dark trash can problem too.
Yeah, the Riley Road one is super annoying because they
Actually, I think
want
it's
it to
gone.
be
It may have disappeared
really?
yesterday.
No, I don't think it did. I don't.
It might have
because it's 20 miles an hour right there.
allegedly.
And that's
Well, I
just
don't know
so
if you guys seen
slow.
the Facebook post of the speed sign
Yeah.
during Christmas that said if you're going over the speed limit, it says naughty, and if you're under a speed sign, it says nice.
I've
like
noticed in Newcastle. I've been a passenger in vehicles. I've never been the driver and noticed this, but I have been a passenger in vehicles. Noticed if you're doing 10 over, the thing just shuts off. It doesn't even complain anymore. It probably records the data.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
But it does not display it any longer.
Yep.
They actually have a sneaky way they can shut off the display so it doesn't actually always show, so it looks like the sign's not working, but it still records all the data.
It knows.
It does.
So then Stacy knows when the speeders are coming through, probably about 7:30 in the morning in a white Chevy Cruze.
And then it just sends an email to Stacey Guffey for henryco@gmail.com.
That's right.
I think that Pendleton did it best because theirs I actually will slow down to the speed limit or maybe even under.
You just wanted to say thank you.
It's because they have the sign out that says, "Please slow down and enjoy our town," and it's like, okay, yeah.
See, you respect the niceties. You just
I
want to
do,
be
yeah.
asked.
I'm like,
just
okay.
Minnesota nice. Carrot, not a stick. I think that's the lesson we're
Yeah.
I'm like, you betcha, yeah.
I would posit that Indiana's pretty kind. Who's your hospitality is real. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
think
like
so.
Except in Carthage. Those
Except
people.
for whenever if you're from Ohio, we're not nice to you.
really.
But yeah, I mean, it's Ohio.
Those tourists that are passing through from Illinois to Ohio on I-70 that are moving agricultural products, man, we are not nice to them. Rough.
That's true.
And then-
Get
then
your
that jail
boy,
fills up
get your
and-
boy Holcomb on that.
It gets rough.
I didn't know there was an issue, but I'll talk to him.
Man.
I
I got a press release today, by the way. If you're going to haul way too much steel through Rushville, you should probably put the numbers on the side of your truck. The state police popped somebody today for being 97,000 pounds overweight,
Oh my gosh.
Whoa,
which is a lot because
cow.
you're only allowed 80,000.
Yeah.
Oh, so they were only 17 over.
Yeah, they were only 21 or was it 46 tons overweight
Yikes.
No,
on
they
a
were.
40-ton truck.
Did you say they were 97,000
1,000 pounds overweight.
over? You can only carry
80,000.
So
Truck
they
and trailer.
had 177,000 pounds of steel.
Yes.
Wow.
They were delivering to Madison.
That
so
is
the state,
incredible.
The press release said that they impounded the truck, the materials, and fined the guy $14,000. So he didn't have the US DOT stuff, and then he had a double truck and trailer combination, and he didn't have the permits for it because you can use those in northern Indiana.
Right.
You're not allowed such.
It takes a
freedoms down here.
special. Well, it takes a special license too. It takes a special addition onto your CDL.
Yeah.
To be able to drive with those, you have to take another test to get it.
You need more permission.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was
Good thing they didn't come through Sulphur.
Mike Broyles knows it's called it is called a Michigan train. For whatever reason, you can run some overweight stuff up north. All right, Betsy, you ready for this?
Maybe.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
You won the Grand Republican Cockeye. Was it a dark enclosed room, or did how does this work?
With hoods, chanting.
I don't think the
There
public
was
was
chanting.
invited.
There was incense. It was very dramatic. No. So it was called
Some sort of arm wrestling?
Yeah, a little bit of arm wrestling. No, and Steve was there too, and Steve Thompson, who's off camera, my campaign manager. Cool, thanks, buddy. So
I need a campaign manager.
I didn't have one last time. I was just sort of like, I'll do this, but
Stacey, I would volunteer, but I lost an election. You don't want that.
Hey, you got the next one.
Betsy, by the way, you've been corrected. A very reliable source says
I know,
you did go to
I
Oldenburg
saw
as a kid.
My mother jumped in on chat. Thanks, Mom. I guess I've been to Oldenburg. It's been a while. I forgot.
Man, the first lie has been exposed in
Oh,
the Betsy
man.
Mills administration.
Hey, but my family's honest. My mom's willing to call me out on my lies. So our party chair, Todd Heide, called the caucus to replace Mike Thalls. And I had known for months that it was coming. I didn't know exactly when it was going to happen. And it was last Monday night. I think it was January 6th. And you just want me to run into the details? of
yeah,
what
it
went
was
down?
a cold and snowy night.
It was a cold and snowy night, very dramatic outside. No, it was, we have 35 or 36 precinct committeemen in the county for our party. And
I think precinct committee person.
committee person, thank you. Thank you.
I'm looking out for,
Thank you. Yeah.
it's not all a patriarchy around here.
That's right. I affirm that. A lot of people were hoping we would make quorum, which would be majority plus one. And I knew we would because I called almost every single precinct committee
the
person.
votes.
I was whipping votes. I was on the phone for days. And I was sort of waiting until after I knew I was going to have competition. And once I knew Mr. Darling had filed, I was like, all right, well, here we go. And I mean, a lot of the precinct committee people knew me and we talked about it. But, there are a lot of people I knew, a lot of people I was acquainted with. Some were complete strangers. And I just wanted to, and it's a little bit old school, but, take you're paying someone a courtesy. If they're a precinct committee person, they expect a call if there's a caucus. And I knew that. I'd already sent letters to everybody back in August when I announced my run for this spring, but it's a little bit different from the caucus. So I won the caucus, but I still have to run this spring.
Absolutely.
For the next
so you're filling out a
Right.
term, and now you've
Yeah.
just filed this week to run for a term of your own.
I filed 4 hours ago. Yeah.
So it's very similar to what Stacey went through when he filled out a
Right.
term for coroner, and
Right.
now it's the same situation for you.
Yeah. So
We didn't have hoods though.
Well, that was the Democrat thing. So
Wow.
it was. So I called almost everybody. I knew we were going to have quorum based on what I was hearing. I felt pretty good about everything, but you never want to get too excited. And obviously, people who know Tony Darling, he's got a just incredible reputation, public servant, just a good man. He was and Steve too. He was our dare instructor at Shenandoah when we were in 4th grade. Miss Jessup's class. And
I graduated from Shenandoah.
did you really?
Absolutely.
Fellow Raider?
Absolutely.
Right on.
1981.
All right.
once again, I dropped out of Blue River after the 6th grade, so I'm very jealous of all these diplomas.
After the jail tour in Adams County yesterday, we were joking, and Kim Cronk and I like to joke about being Shenandoah graduates, and we're like, yeah, Shenandoah, because there's honestly, we're up in the corner of the county, and there should probably be more Raiders involved at the county level, and there really haven't been. I don't know why that is. I'm trying to diagnose that, but anyway, Kim and I like to joke about being Shenandoah grads.
Probably the windmill.
Could be. And Chad Malico, gave us, teased us about it. But
Peg's a Shenandoah area person too, right?
I think
she's not pure enough. She lives
no,
up there.
No, she does. I think she was
you're holding
Caddis,
some.
if I recall correctly.
They go to Shenandoah school though.
But she wasn't a Shenandoah grad. Shenandoah didn't exist when she graduated.
Not pure blood.
Yeah, she's
Kick
not
her
pure
out.
enough.
I'm not characterizing
Out of
anything
the-
like that. I'm just saying I
Out
don't
of the
think she's
party.
She sounds like she's still bitter over losing the primary. Is what it feels
Oh,
like
no.
to me. I don't know. It's just I'm
and
uncomfortable.
You guys were so good. When I lost, say a 4-way race. I lost by 32 votes in spring 18. It was a bummer. It sucks to lose. I'm very competitive. I figure if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go as hard as I can. And I really did. I spent a lot of money. I worked really hard. I just really, really pushed myself and out of my comfort zone. And I lost that night. And I was really at peace because a lot of people encouraged me that night. And I really do, both of you, but probably especially you, Jeremiah. I've always said, like, there were certain people who jumped in and really encouraged me. And you said, don't run away, don't hide, don't, you got to stay involved.
Yep.
County needs you. Like, we need young people. And, I'm so excited about you guys too, even though we're not the same party. Like, we need young voices. We need that perspective. It's really important. So I've always been really appreciative that you have been so encouraging to me. So anyway, caucus went down. It was me against Tony Darling. He was great. He gave a great speech. I gave my speech after him. It was alphabetical order. Voted on slips of paper. I got to vote because I'm a precinct committee person.
There you go.
Steve got to vote because he's a precinct committee person. And
but you swept Fall Creek Township then, or are you Harrison?
I'm appointed in Middletown as a precinct committee person. I assume I don't want to assume anything.
Charlie White went to jail for not living where he voted.
Well, after
and
everything,
law enforcement is in the
your
room.
party chair can appoint you anywhere in the county. So my party chair appointed me after the fact, like a year and a half ago. Anyway, so it was a 21-10 vote, and we had for 31 people to attend our caucus on a cold Monday night in January.
It's a lot of robes.
It was a lot of robes, a lot of dry cleaning.
You have to rent them.
They had to borrow some from the Democrat.
They haven't had a caucus this big in a long time. They had to rent them.
Yeah, no, well, people were like, I'm worried we're not going to have numbers. And I was like, nope, we're going to have numbers. Because I've literally, the spreadsheets and the notes I was keeping. My mom was like, are you keeping track of who you're talking to? I was like, I probably have 3,000 words of writing. Like, literally every conversation, like what we talked about, I keep track of that stuff. So, I was deeply honored to win in that margin, and especially against a quality competitor. And, I think it's probably a reflection of being involved and being motivated and knowing the issues of the county.
You were well positioned to be ready to serve, right?
Yes, I would like to think so. Yeah.
I'll say that for you. If you won't say it yourself, I'll say it for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you have any hesitation whenever Mike announces his retirement?
No, I thought about it. I prayed about it. It's not something you jump into. You guys know how hard that decision is to decide, I'm going to run for office, to put yourself out there. It looks easy. It's really excruciatingly hard. And you're on display. People are watching you. People are going to have opinions. Some are very encouraging. Others are like, I hate you. And
most are pretty
no one's ever
crappy.
said I hate you, but I'm sure people, you're never going to make everybody happy.
We all know what opinions are like.
Right.
No
Everyone's got one.
secret here.
Yeah.
Boy,
So,
Dakota's getting ready to give us a boomerism. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
So
no,
it's,
I'm done.
So, to put yourself out there, it's vulnerability, but I've been really, really lucky, and really, people have been very good to me and very encouraging to me, and I was really honored to win. So obviously the minute I won, I went to work.
So you jumped in right away. You went down to Greensburg.
Yes.
Which, by the way, their school resource officer, I've been caught in their line many times with traffic. I spend a lot of my business is down in the Louisville, Kentucky area. So I come up 3 and 421 and I stop in front of whatever school is at the north side of Greensburg. And I hit it at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Oh,
and
man.
I sit through 5 light cycles of those folks leaving the school. So I my joke about the traffic, but it's very similar to what you guys have to deal with. So I do empathize with the job of trying to get all the people that are trying to go somewhere stopped.
Well,
keep kids safe.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is everybody in that area pretty much knows that the school's letting out. The school buses need to get out safely, and so we try.
So you fought the traffic and went to Greensburg.
I have one problem with Betsy: the fact that she won. We did not get a press release. I thought we were friends. The Boss Hog was friends.
First is Facebook not count, my friend.
I'm going to be honest. You probably should blame her campaign manager and not Betsy.
Who is this bum? You need to fire him.
He's, he's really a great. I haven't asked him to do anything yet. No, he's great, and I'm sorry you didn't get the personal press release. I put it on Facebook though, so and we're Facebook friends. I'm pretty sure you saw it right away.
I'm pretty sure
you sent me a message at night.
I did.
So you're being a little bit dramatic, but I still love you a lot.
That's how reporters are.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Yeah, he's the big time media, mainstream drive by. He just does what he wants.
Okay, let's be real.
He's the enemy of the
Courier
people.
Times, Middletown News, Boss Hog. That's our media presence in Henry County. And there might be radio stations I literally pay no attention. I have Sirius XM and Spotify. I don't pay attention to our radios. So, no, you guys are actually very important.
Chris Guffey and the Courier Times are both corporate media, and they're the enemy of the people.
I talked to Travis that night. I talked to Eldon Pitts later that night.
Eldon's cool.
They're great. They always do a really good job.
So you were telling your story, and then I interrupted you as I don't
even know what the story was.
You were going to Greensburg. You
right.
toured the Decatur County Jail. That's right. Happening.
Yeah, and they're almost done. I think they plan to move in the next month and a half. And it was a really impressive facility. And especially considering...
You drove right by the Rush County Jail. It's also under construction.
And that's right. Chad Malacote and Ed Yanis did tour it, and they and we picked them up there. And I didn't know that was happening, or else I might have argued to go there. But a caucus is at 7 p.m. And then the next morning, or I guess it was at noon, I'm on the bus to Greensburg. So I have tried to jump right in. Not hesitate. I mean... Right. So our precinct committee people, and they elected me, so I better get to work. And I really, especially being the youngest person on council by about a decade, I figure I need to show that I'm willing to work.
Is Clay the next youngest?
I think it would be Chad.
Chad's younger
Susan.
than Clay?
Chad kind of looks boyish still. I don't know. He's hard to pin down.
I know he's
he could
not
be 25. I don't know.
He's okay. I know he's not a young Republican anymore. And young as the 6th district young Republican chair, and I think you have to be 41 or 42 or younger.
Yeah.
So
I think it's 40.
Wow. It's not 40, because I was like, isn't it 40? No, it's like 41 or 42. It's a weird.
Well, it's Republican rules, so they have to skew older.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So
you're not even allowed to be a Republican until you're 24.
Right. That's right. No. So yeah, it's.
That's why Stacey had to wait so long.
I don't know. I'm really proud to be like this young and to be doing it. And I really want to show my worth. And I think I bring an interesting set of attributes and, skill set to the council. So I'm excited.
So what have you learned? You've been to Adams County, you've been to Decatur County. What have you learned about jails? They cost a lot of money and we need one?
They cost a lot of money. We desperately need one in 100 different ways. The one we have is not sufficient. We're super overcrowded. It's not like I love that we're incarcerating that many people, but thanks to the state passing laws that require us to house level 5 and level 6 offenders here at home. I mean, all of this is because of the state. The state has put us into a horrible bind that should have been predicted through legislation. Some people, as I understand it, complained and predicted this. Others didn't. This is a fault of the legislature, but here we are. And so we have to deal with it. And the way I look at it is we need this facility. We have federal judges breathing down our necks. How do we do this in a way that is cost effective to the taxpayer? That's deeply important to me.
Is there a federal judge really breathing down our necks?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time?
I mean, like physically or metaphorically? Yes. I mean,
I know that we feel pressure, but has there ever really been a case where a magistrate has ordered?
Yes. I mean, they haven't ordered to build yet, but we're so close to that.
I think they did in Delaware County.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're so close.
They did?
And when the federal judge does that, they get to make all the decisions.
They determine the terms,
So,
right.
You were going to plan to build that $20 million jail. No, you're going to build a $40 million jail.
Right.
We lose all control the minute that happens. Yeah. So, that really adds to the urgency of the situation. So, and Chad Malacote, I don't think he'll mind me saying this, but he's been involved in a lot of this, and his name has showed up on depositions, and he's starting to feel the pressure of like, oh my gosh, my name is on that federal lawsuit. Other members of council too. They're getting called out personally, and it's that's a real motivator.
And the from what I understand as well, the sheriff can personally file a lawsuit against the county for putting him in this position.
I didn't know that, but that sounds right. I mean,
that's just what I've heard from a few different.
Sounds like lawyers are getting very wealthy off of all of this.
They probably are. And it's been really interesting to watch, the council and in our meeting today at 1, the public meeting to announce we went with, the architect we were choosing. And
so there were 3 competing organizations or groups, bidders?
3 or 4. Yeah.
So what happened?
The council provided input, but it was a commissioner's decision. Ken and Gray actually put out a survey last week and had people do rankings, and far and away 2-1 vote, a firm out of Fort Wayne called Elevatus. It looks like elevator, but with a US at the end. It is not Elevatus, it's Elevatus. But
sounds expensive.
It does. They built Decatur County and Adams County, and they have a long track record. And as I did all my research, I looked through the packets of materials I had.
They've done quite a few jails in the past.
Yeah.
And they can just come in and
and
get it down. They know what they're doing with them.
The lead architect is Tony Vi. He's been just really I've only been on the job for a week and a half. But I have been on the jail committee for a year and a half and the master plan committee. Just far and away, their materials blew me away. I just thought that everything, all the evidence I have, all the information I have, and I have to make the informed decision based on what I can see. I know I haven't been around as much as everybody else.
I bet that me and Rex Bell could build just as good of a jail.
Except
for probably half the price.
Except there's all these constitutional requirements. There's all these little things you need.
You're not just building a building, right?
Right. Oh,
Cinder block, razor wire.
Well, and Ed Tarantino said that for a long
difficult.
time. You're like, what can we do to drive costs down? There's so much wrapped up in this. There's so much. It's so complicated, and you've got to work with the right people. What is really cool is that
I could even make an electric fence.
and that would be cool. I don't know if it's constitutional, but it would be cool. Sounds like a video game. But the problem is, with the federal lawsuit, with everything else, we've got to be constitutional. And so
have to be very careful.
We're also a broke county, so we're trying to deal with all these variables. But
so is it a canned solution, or is it's going to be custom for Henry County? And do you know where
my
is siting done yet?
Site is a big question mark. We're talking about downtown. We're talking about out by Geo, potentially other locations. I personally deeply am in favor of moving out by Geo, out of downtown. I'm not saying that's 100% at this point. Corey Murphy today said, hey, there are benefits and drawbacks for moving from downtown, and you're going to drive some business away from downtown. They're already used to a jail, so you're not going to impact property values. They're already used to that, but you're also pulling people away from spending money here. And I respect that, and Corey's opinion is important on that. But
because they're not going to go to lunch.
Right. Yeah.
They're still going to eat. They may end up going back downtown anyway.
At the same time, I look at whose neighbor.
I mean, there's nothing down there.
Right.
Well, not yet.
Yeah, north of just north of town on 3. At the same time,
next to a prison and a giant jail,
Subway, they're everywhere,
and a Dollar General,
a Subway, Dollar General, next door.
It'll pop right up.
But I also don't want to see us move.
And maybe an unnamed gas station that's going in. In Sulphur. Yeah, that same group may develop there too. They love dens of iniquity. We heard that on the Patreon. If you guys haven't joined the Patreon, check it out. You'll hear what's coming to Sulphur Springs.
Well, the one thing that I was going to add as far as the jail goes, we're also talking about the safety of the officers and the staff and the inmates themselves. That's been an issue here,
absolutely,
for a long time, and being able to control, the environment in itself. But that's been part of the talk is the equipment itself inside all the mechanics and things inside the jail. At one point in time, the cell doors, you could basically pull real hard and they would break free.
Now, I've got a great idea, and I just thought about this.
Okay.
And I can't believe I haven't thought about it before.
Write it down.
There's an empty brick building in Spiceland.
Okay.
The old school. And it's got the classrooms. It would, be pretty cheap. It's got a lot of property around it.
Are you channeling Delaware County right now?
There's a church across the street for rehabilitation.
There's a park.
There's a park. Yeah. Well, the park's the drawback.
Let's follow up on that. let's do it.
I want to know what's going to happen to the old jail. Are you going to? It's a historic building, and I
really
feel like
good question.
Might be attached to it.
Right. Well,
don't tear it down.
I don't know about that.
You're raising
museum.
downtown.
Museum.
I've been told that we've talked about different options. Like you can deconstruct it and strip it for steel. I don't know where we're going with
It's
that.
a great bar idea. Keep it the way it is as a jail with the razor
That'd be
wire.
a filthy bar.
Well, you clean it. You clean it, right? But you keep the jail mechanics.
I'm going to let you
and
clean
things.
it. I will work to hire you to clean it.
Clean it.
I have
if I'm
connections
opening
now.
a bar, I'm hiring someone to clean the place, a professional cleaner.
Kickbacks are already starting to go. She knows somebody.
I feel like Dakota has found the location of the Newcastle Brewery.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, that's a cool idea.
Sean,
but
let's get on this.
Call it the jail.
But
Jail.
It has been really cool to see the collaboration between council, and I've observed this as a citizen and someone who's been sitting on committees between council and commissioners. The public meeting today was like a love fest. The sheriff was so excited. Commissioners were really excited. Council members were really excited. Clay Morgan, especially, who has done a lot. His committee assignments, a lot of them are justice based, and he's just people who've been in the know, who've been researching this, who care about it, are just. This was a big, big step forward today to choose our architect. And I think everybody feels really good about it. So, and I mentioned cost effectiveness, but also we've really got to keep an eye on, drug treatment, and we've got to look at recidivism. Recidivism is someone who gets rearrested, they reoffend and they come back. We want to prevent that. We want to get ahead of that. So how do we do that? Treatment, really intelligent programs. Ken and Gray was talking to me today about, I think he went to a conference down in French Lick, and he learned a lot. And he was like, there are programs in this state that are really reducing recidivism, and we can bring those here.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Fort Wayne, it's either Fort Wayne or Kokomo, one of the court systems up there, they have just a court for just that.
Sure.
And they graduate.
Yeah.
They have to go through the whole process. It was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
We've done something similar with the drug court
and veterans court.
and the veterans court. Yeah, we have already introduced quite a few creative solutions, and they seem to be doing pretty well, according to Sean Rouse talked about it. Kit Crane has talked about it, so I think we're on the right track. At least
I deliver Kit's Middletown newspaper at least once a month nowadays. We're the only two in my neighborhood that gets it, so they get stuck together, and I get to deliver his mail. Anyway, we're like newspaper brothers.
My biggest
Supporting local
worry
media.
from the get-go with the whole jail is that we're putting the carriage in front of the horse, and that at either this legislative session or the next one, there's going to be some drawbacks done at the state level, because it's every single county is talking about it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that. I mean, obviously I know that we've got these lawsuits that are going against us. There's, people's names are being dropped. There's other consequences that could happen eventually. But what happens is if all of a sudden we build a $20 million facility, and then the state says you don't have to house level 6 offenders anymore.
I think you're exactly right. I worry about it too. Like the state realizes, oh my gosh, we've placed this enormous burden on
jails to be built.
The sheriff mentioned this today, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Literally half of our counties in Indiana are overcrowded. It's our county jails. It's a huge problem. The legislature did this to us. We didn't cause this issue. They did. They put it on us. They haven't helped us. They're slowly trying to help with financing and different ideas and allowing us to potentially collaborate with our neighbors, county wise.
Here's the gun. You can load the bullet, and then you can pull the trigger and shoot yourself in the leg.
Right.
And now,
with our permission, yes.
Now, as an elected official, when can I expect to see you at the legislature demanding that they fix this issue? I actually brought this up whenever they stole my money. Why weren't any of the currently elected? Why would none of them go to the legislative body and tell them we demand a change?
That's a good question. That's something to think about. Anyway, I do worry about that.
It's hypothetical.
The state fixes our problem. Here's what I know. I'm very interested in not incarcerating more people in Henry County or doing something to pump up our numbers. I know that we can house federal people immediately. So there's always need for space. And that, I think that was mentioned today or yesterday at lunch, but if hypothetically we don't have enough people in our county to house in our jail or around the state, like that problem's alleviated, we can get federal prisoners and they pay per diem.
So then we run a for-profit?
Sorry,
it is
13 questions at once.
Yeah,
Chris is triggered.
Yeah.
It is problematic, right?
Yeah,
I don't love that. I don't want us to. Let's get people. For me, it's not like that. But
you're not saying we need to build a huge jail and try to make money off of people. You're saying if that happens, we wouldn't be in that bad of a position.
I'm saying
that could.
There's always need for.
There's always
for that.
a need there,
and
But it's actually a resource. I mean, why not Henry County get something?
Right.
For having to put that much money out.
And if we do this intelligently, we can pay off our jail faster by housing people from other places who aren't that far in the process. Just like we are paying Elkhart County right now, I think $50 a day per head to house our prisoners. We can house prisoners from other places. And again, I don't want to incarcerate I want to incarcerate people who whatever, but it's not like I'm rooting for that.
It's just a gross thing to talk about, right?
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, the prison industrial complex is terrible. Like why are we as the most developed country in the world, the richest country in the world, we are housing our citizens at a much higher rate than anybody except for China? What does that tell you? That's a problem. That's a societal, national problem. So these are huge things we're not going to work out tonight.
Our answer is jail way too often, right?
Right. It is. And so, and not to say some people don't deserve to be there. Certainly they do. But at least for us, I think
Rex Bell always said that you should, Prison is for people that we're afraid of, not for people we find annoying.
Right. So for us, for our purposes, for our needs, for the federal lawsuits, all of it, I just want to see us be smart. And we're using a lot of taxpayer money. Thank God I think our price point is around 20 million and not 40 million, as we were talking about a year ago. That scared me to death. 20 million is a ton of money, but
so do you think
it's doable?
Do you think that with the tax increase that was put into place, do you think we're going to have to see the county go to a referendum to get enough to get to that price tag? Or do you think there's enough revenue coming in now, or is it too early to tell to get to that $20 million number?
Okay. With the caveat, this is my understanding and not fact.
You've been on the job for a week. I understand.
So
I just want your feeling.
My understanding is that we will be able to pay for it but I don't know. Whatever it is, we're going to have to do it really intelligently. And it's got to be it. I mean, we have to follow the Constitution. That's very important. We don't want any more federal lawsuits. We want to control our destiny there, but we have to be cost effective for the taxpayer.
All right. You all right, Dakota?
Sorry, my dad must be watching the podcast because he said there's a stainless steel toilet in that old jail that has my name on it.
You want to tell us why?
I don't know if that's our story to tell.
It just caught me off guard and made me laugh.
Oh gosh. All right. So we'll put a bow on the council work.
Sure.
You've had, like everybody else, 47 jobs.
Yes.
You've been involved with the Shenandoah band.
Yes.
How's that gone?
Okay. So yeah, I think that happened between the last time I saw you guys. I saw you guys in August or September. So I grew up in Henry County. I was born at Ball Memorial. I went to Shenandoah K through 12 with Steve. I've literally my campaign manager, Steve. We've known each other since preschool, which is hilarious, and now we're partners in crime at the political level. So I'm a really proud Shenandoah grad, and the band director there was in a really bad bike accident in October, and it was bad. She was really banged up. She had a skull fracture. She was in the ICU for a good week and maybe longer, and the school called me. It was really funny. I was in Steve's kitchen with his wife, talking to his wife. She was making dinner. I was hanging out. And I said, I feel really disconnected from Shenandoah. I'm very involved at Ball State. I work for Penn State. I literally attended Shenandoah for 13 years, and I feel very little connection there. And I'm so involved in the county. It's just a weird thing. And I was joking with Trisha about that and just being like, that's weird. And then the next day the school called me and said, hey, would you like to come and be the new band director? And at that point, I didn't have a time frame for what that was going to look like. I have never taught music. When I was in middle school and high school, I was a percussionist. I was a drummer. I was drum major my senior year. It was something I really cared about. I thought about even going and doing music ed, but I don't think I was good enough for that. And I went a different direction, clearly.
So you started a garage band?
I did play a few times. Yeah, I had a drum set. I rocked out a little bit. I had to work hard at being a drummer. It wasn't something that came super naturally to me. It was something I was really proud of because
Shenandoah is the land of drummers.
Is it?
With Jared Bramlett.
Those boys, and I love that family.
I took drum lessons
those
from Jared.
boys, when I was in middle school and high school, those kids were, he and his brother were always wanting to hang out with my drums. I was like, here's the sticks, go nuts. And I just, tiny bit of credit for always encouraging them. Because I love those boys. I'm really proud of them. And the Bramletts are just an amazing family. But anyway, so I said yes to Shenandoah. I immediately jumped in, and for 2 months, I was their band director. I was their choir director. I did 6th grade band, 7th and 8th grade band, high school choir, a couple music classes. It was insane. It was absolutely surreal. I'd not been in Shenandoah for 10 years. And all of a sudden I'm the band director. And to be like, I left Shenandoah as an 18-year-old, and I was in a certain place mentally. And then I come back and I'm 34 years old. And it was insane, but it was like one of the best blessings of my life ever. It was just to get to work with those kids who are amazing. If you're in band or choir in high school, you're probably pretty loyal and you're pretty dedicated. And
especially like marching band and things like that. It takes a lot.
It's such a family. And as at a county school, you are in that group for years. Mm-hmm. It's not just, the band director who I had, and she's obviously now back on the job. I was with her for 7 years, and you really develop camaraderie and friendships in that. And so, I filled in. I thought it was going to be the whole year. And she made an incredible recovery, and I'm really happy for her. And honestly, it worked out really well because I turned in my grades last Monday. in the afternoon, and literally 5 hours later, I won a caucus. So it was like, wow, the Lord moves in really mysterious ways, and here we are. So I'm always going to be proud of that.
There are really unique opportunities for you. You talk about how you were looking for a way to get back involved with the youth and missing that.
Yeah.
It's one of the neat things I get to do with 4-H is that I've got the junior leader program.
Right.
And by the way, we would love to have, more folks involved with that in the leadership capacity as well. But the unique thing about that is we get to work with kids from every high school. Every school in the county feeds into us.
Right.
And you get them for 5 or 6 years. So it's the same thing you talk about with the band, where you've got the long time. You don't just have them for a semester. You've got 6 years to develop that relationship. Those
connections are so important. And I mentioned that too, with you being an SRO, like getting to connect with kids, and some of them have great families. Others are really, they lack stability. And to get to be a role model, to get to be in their lives, to get to show them that you care about them and you believe in them, and to provide some sort of example that one day they think like, I could do that too. What is more valuable than that? Like, that is so tangible and important. And, it was really weird to be on the other end of that for once, and just feel like
sometimes you develop lifelong friendships and you end up in their weddings.
Yeah. And I've said
Dakota
this.
just shakes his head and says, I don't know how it happened.
I've said this 100 different times, but I think we have really good kids in Henry County. I mean, this is a good place. It's a good place to raise your families. It's a good place to be. And if I didn't think so, I wouldn't have moved back. And I really believe in what we're doing here at a county level. And, anyway, it was a really rewarding and cool experience. It was sort of a fake it till you make it kind of a thing, because it was like, I have not read music or done anything with music in 15 years. And all of a sudden I'm conducting a 55 member band.
Did you have to get the sheet music back out and start writing like FACE between the spaces?
No, I didn't do that with the scores.
Does,
and the good thing is I'm a drummer, so I can count well. And it was a good,
that's all you need to be a conductor.
Honestly, we sounded really good. Like it worked out really well. The kids were just amazing. And what was really funny was that, I empowered them to lead. And it was like, okay, so I'm not a music educator. I don't know how to teach that 6th grader how to play. I don't know how to tell her how to play her clarinet. I don't know how to tell.
You just say something random BS about embouchure.
Yes, a little bit of embouchure. I could help the drummers, and I did help the drummers. But what I found was I went to the high schoolers and I was like, hey guys, I need you. Can you come in 6th hour and help out? Do you have free time 7th hour? And they responded, and they were so excited to watch them lead their younger peers and have their younger peers look up at them. I mean, stuff I'm never going to learn that in time, how to, the fingering for X clarinet or where to position the trombone. I will never know that. It was never my skill set.
You're
anyway.
Facilitating it now.
But to be able to facilitate that and know that I could do that, and to have it be successful, and for us to they were amazing at their concerts. Anyway, it was just this bizarre, surreal experience, and I will be proud of it forever.
And that says a lot for the kids too, that they already have that institutional knowledge. You have that in the building. You just have to figure out how to transfer it.
And it's a reflection on the band director. Kathy Marshall she's an incredible teacher, and she trained them up really well. And she's tough. Like, she's tough as nails. Like, if you're sticking around, it's because you're good and you vibe with her. And everybody was programmed really well for me to just come in and keep it going. So I likened it to, cars on the road, but the driver's bailed out and I have to jump back in. And I don't have to accelerate. I just have to keep us moving, like keep us on the road. Yeah. And I did that. And I thought it was going to last longer based on everything, I was hearing, but
when we saw you in November, you were like, this is going to be,
right.
This is not short term.
Well, I wasn't allowed to say that. Like I just for privacy and different reasons, I was like, I don't know how long it's going to last, but I expected it was going to be most of the year. I mean, for the school is like, she's out the year. But knowing her and I knew that she was going to come back earlier than that. I didn't know it was going to be January, but she's a badass woman, and I'm glad that she's back. And it was really good. So it was like this. It was utterly bizarre. Like, this whole experience has just been. I still can't believe it happened, because it's like, if you told 11-year-old me or like 18-year-old me, you're going to come back and lead your band for a couple of months, like this thing that meant so much to you as a young person, and it really did. I think it really impacted me in ways that I'll never know. And has set me up for success as an adult in a lot of different ways. Anyway,
very good.
I could talk forever. It was fun.
All right, we're going to start transitioning to final thoughts. Producer Chris, what do we need to plug?
Let's see.
Is it, are we adopting stray puppies or something? What spay and neuter clinic? What do you got for me?
I've got a few things. One, I really want to talk about what Betsy said about moving back to Henry County and all that. So as we all know, Guffey has acquired a girlfriend.
Woo!
You've got clean title.
Not Stacey, but you got
My wife is watching.
I didn't know your marital status. I don't mean to imply
Stacey
any sort
might
of
have acquired a
impropriety, sir.
girlfriend. I don't
He's
know.
been hiding that wedding ring below the table all night. Just
I better keep it.
No offense. Congratulations, Mrs. Guffey.
But she's talked about buying a house, and I've got her convinced to move to Henry County.
Wow.
So we're I've learned from Jer, we just bustle them in.
you just go import one.
You just got to import one
And then,
from another
next
county.
thing you know, their parents follow you in too. So you just
That's
Henry
a possibility.
You
I
did
got
really
married-
well, by the
I got
way.
married in Henry County, gained 3 people.
Yeah.
Number 2 is another thing that Betsy said. It's a lot of work to run for office, but it truly is rewarding, and you're very grateful for the opportunity. Just because you meet so many people, you get to discuss things. People have different opinions than you, and it makes you constantly think, all right, well, what about this and that? And it is hard, but this is an election year, so if you want to, if you don't like the way things are going, you can run. You can put your name on the ballot. And if you do have any questions about that, shoot me a message, and I'll gladly help you where I can.
There's a lot of bitching from voters when they show up and they said, "Man, I had one race to vote in."
Exactly. So this is your chance. And then number 3, February 15th is the year anniversary of DCCW wrestling. Me, the Potters, your in-laws, Mason, we are hardcore fans, so we will be there.
Season
front
ticket
row.
holders.
They don't have season tickets. I'm trying to get on that, but so I'm going to try to get press passes shortly. But if you want to go to that, shoot me a message. I've got the hookup on tickets. We can go. You can spend a lovely night. We'll bar hop before we go, and it'll be wonderful. Ask the Potters. They loved it.
Well, the Slick Pickle has been a sponsor. I think at some point we need to you need to formally organize this and get together with a Slick Pickle.
Ooh, I bet we could.
For Patreon
Make something
members.
happen.
This could
All right,
be a
stop
Patreon,
talking about it now. This is Patreon members.
Patreon only. Join now.
We'll talk about it next week.
And that's all I've got.
All right. So Mr. Guffey, Stacey Guffey, not to be confused
other.
with any other Guffeys that might have run for office or be running for coroner at any time. What do you got for us, man?
Well, first off, thank you all for allowing me to be here.
Thank you for tolerating us.
Well, it has been a lot of fun, and I think that Henry County is pointed in a good direction, and as far as the coroner's race, my idea is that I do have a heart for this community, and born and raised here, and so it does have a special place for me and everybody in it. So, but I just appreciate everybody's vote and support coming up in the primary and then in the general. So
Very good. We're glad to have you have your first visit here. Betsy, this was her 4th, so she's lobbying for some sort of a fifth appearance reward. So we're going to check the box for your first time.
All right.
And we got that out of the way, and then we'll see how many episodes we can get you on, and see what sort of swag Betsy makes us give out to the 5-timers. What say you? Did we miss anything? Did we forget anything? We
Are you
did get
asking
one
for
more.
my final thoughts.
Your
or-
final thoughts. Yeah, we did get one more question here. I'll ask. Mike Broyles, noted patron as well, did ask in the chat.
Mike.
The county has we'll say mixed reviews on building maintenance in the past. If we get a $20 million building built, is there going to be a plan to maintain it too?
I'm not sure yet.
Sure.
It's a good question to ask in a meeting.
It's a good question. It's a fair question. Let me investigate further.
On that note, real quick, I was told that the county would be looking for electronics technicians, and I just happen to know a guy. If the price is right,
It's him.
Actually, that is really important because I got an email this week that we're investigating upgrading the PA system in the courthouse.
Nice.
Long rumored. Long awaited.
No, I mean they're looking into it and what
we
features
have,
we want. So
we
you
have
guys
been griping about that for so long.
rightfully so because you can't hear anyone, and it's one thing if someone is eloquent. Or I want to say eloquent, but if they're able to project their voice, it's not a big deal. If you're soft-spoken, and we have folks who are brilliant but soft-spoken, you can't hear them 10 feet away. And so if anybody, viewers or my friends at the table or whatever in this room, you have recommendations about the PA system, let me know, because we're
bigger system.
Well, yeah, and video ability too. Like
Video ability, microphones for everybody.
something I really appreciate about you guys, and I think young people in general, we really cherish accessibility and convenience, and we want to keep track of government, but it's hard to show up at meetings at certain times. But if we start recording our meetings and we just make it more accessible to the viewers, better than, certain citizens. Like I always think of Bobby Plummer, who does a lot of live feeds from meetings. You guys have done live feeds too. People really appreciate that. It's good to be able to keep tabs on government without having to be in the room. Anyway, I'm all about transparency. So
Very good. Is there anything else that we forgot? How do people start volunteering to give money, to walk in the parade, to compete in this election?
let me know. I'm very, very accessible. BetsyMills@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. I expect I will have a website up pretty soon. Sort of just hanging out right now.
I think your old website's still up.
No. Because I'd have to pay for that. I shut it down a long time ago. But I'll relaunch it with
Fiscally responsible.
better pictures. I would say if anybody listening, any constituents, any viewers who want to talk about the issues of the county, let me know. I like to think of myself as someone who's always willing to learn. I'm a teacher, but we're always learning. And if we're not learning, then we're failing. And if there are issues you want me to take to the council or you're interested in talking about, let me know. I'm learning, but I am really curious about, the issues the average citizen is facing. We can go to the Kettle, get a piece of pie. We can go to Sparky's and get a beer. I'm thinking about the places in my corner of the county. We'll go to Primo's and get a chicken parm. Love all these little places.
This is one of my favorite things is the chicken parm at Primo's.
It is so good.
The chicken parm sandwich, you just leave the bun behind. It is massive.
That's exactly what I do. And I get a Caesar salad and I have that chicken parm. Yep. Chef's kiss. Perfect. Yeah, we were supposed to go there tonight and they were shut down and I was really ticked off because I love Primo's. But anyway, I'm accessible. I care. I want anybody to feel like they can bring issues to me and I'm going to fight for them. Like that's what I was chosen for. And I take that responsibility very seriously. I'm very excited to get to work. I have a year left of this term, but I'm hoping for another 4 years after that. So
there we go.
Thank you guys for having me. It's an honor to be here.
We're honored to have you. Once again, thank you for tolerating us.
Oh my gosh, I love you guys.
Dakota?
You're ridiculous, but I love you.
I have two things. First thing, really quick, there's a Libertarian Party of Henry County meeting at 1102 Ray Street in Newcastle. That is this coming Saturday. I changed it to Saturday this time because everyone was complaining about the Sunday meetings. So we are having it Saturday at 1 p.m., 1102 Ray Street, Newcastle, Indiana. That we will be talking about the upcoming convention, likely setting a date for that. Also talking about candidates running for a Henry County office. So if you're a member, you want to have a voice, then come down to the headquarters, and we will be discussing all that on Saturday. Second thing I have is I found out, I think it was Sunday, that HGTV has a new show coming.
Are they competing to go to Knightstown? I think I heard this.
Well,
You did just say Knightstown.
Knightstown, yes.
Okay.
HGTV has a new show that's coming in 2021, and it's called...
It's right by Cadiz.
It's called Hometown Takeover, and they, instead of just doing like one house remodel, they're going to be doing an entire town, remodeling empty houses, remodeling empty buildings, parks, things like that. They said that they basically made it sound on their website, if you submit a video, then you're already ahead of the people who just submit their town. I'm making a video for Spiceland. I've already talked to quite a few people about getting some shots. Zach Bertram's going to come down with his drone.
Cool.
I'd like to have a couple of citizens. I've reached out to 2 so far, but I'd like to have at least 2 more people if you live in Spiceland. Then hit me up. I have to have the footage done by the end of next week.
Wow.
Well, there's just the recording so that I can have time to. I can have
Spiceland.
I can have like a week and a half to edit it.
Down at the end, intern Mason, he counts.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't want Mason. Somebody else.
You want to win, man? I'm conflicted because I heard that Knightstown is bidding. I heard that my birthplace town, Messina, New York, is competing. I think every small community in the country is going to be looking at this.
I know, that's why it's got to be.
You better do a damn good job with the video.
That's why I need like a week and a half to edit this video.
Yeah,
that's why it has to be by the end of next week.
I mean, you need to be like the cream of the crop for Spiceland. You can't let Mason be in this video.
I know.
Yeah, you got to go very premium. You might have to get Darren Jacobs.
Darren's gonna be in it.
Yeah, Darren's
gonna be in it.
Yeah, probably have to send him through hair and makeup, but I think you can get Darren.
Did you know?
I saw him today. I think he's growing out his hair.
Did you guys know that there's a museum in Spiceland?
No.
I'm not surprised.
There's a museum in the upstairs of Hoover Hall.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's very cool. It's full of really neat history for the whole town of Spiceland. Like, it blows my mind to see that stuff because there's like the Spiceland Stingers. They used to have a competitive marching band. Like that's insane to me. A school that's of that size. But anyway, if you want to be in the video by the end of next week, you need to
reach out to Dakota. All right. If any candidates that are out there, press releases can go to Jeremiah@bosshogofliberty.com as you jump in, and we'll try to get you worked into the cycle here. I will say that our chat has been incredibly busy tonight with the thought of a downtown jail brewery.
Yeah,
the imagination has been phenomenal. I think we might have accidentally hit on something.
I know a realtor who can hook us up.
There's a guy. We know a guy. And I do want to thank John Beiersdorfer over at Aaron's Auto, too. He hooked me up this week. He took care of me. My Tahoe needed some love, and he replaced all kinds of stuff on it. So we're good for the new year. Another small business to highlight. It's been a fun night. Next week, we've got State Representative Tom Saunders will be coming on. Third year in a row. Tom has come on during the General Assembly, and look forward to having a conversation with him. So we're going to have some fun with Tom. And
He's
then
the best.
We'll see what's coming after that. So thank you everybody for coming to the studio tonight and watching. Likes and shares are what makes this happen, and of course your support on Patreon. See everybody next week.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.